Hey everyone, so this is my review of Once Upon a Time, Season 6, Episode 2, called Bitter Delight. And basically what this episode's about is Snow, David, and Regina have to work together to try and stop this new mysterious threat of a person. And Belle goes to Hook to sort of help go into hiding from Gold. Emma restarts her sort of therapy sessions with Jiminy. And I really enjoyed this episode and thought it was really kind of interesting. I really liked the sort of main plot of the story that revolved around Snow, David, and Regina. And I found his whole sort of plot and story with this mysterious man very interesting. With him sort of telling the truth but not telling the truth because of the fact of the split people of the Evil Queen and Regina that now exists. Because when they asked why he's doing what he's doing, he says that he's doing it because the Evil Queen told him to. Which he's not wrong, but he's also not fully right, so it's kind of that confusion in this episode. And then once that twist is sort of revealed, I really enjoy that for the fact that he wasn't wrong, and why he wasn't wrong and all that stuff I found really interesting and I really enjoyed it. And then the fact of who this mysterious guy is a little confusing to me because I'm not very familiar with him. Because he's the Count of Monte Cristo, which the name Monte Cristo sounds familiar to me, but I don't know why, or like that whole sort of story revolved around that, I don't know. So his character is kind of confusing to me for that reason, because I don't know what his whole like path of revenge is and what happened to his fiance and all this stuff. I don't know. So he was a little confusing to me. And I hope that some of his story might be cleared up in the future. But with how this episode ended for him, I don't think that's going to be possible or really happen. Unless something else happens to fix all this stuff or somehow another character from his story is brought up. And then the small chunk of this episode that revolved around Belle and Hook, I really enjoyed. With the fact of Belle going to Hook to sort of hide from Rumpelstiltskin. And I enjoy it for the fact that it's very similar to what happened with Rumpelstiltskin's first wife. That this first wife and Belle both go to Hook to try and escape from Rumpelstiltskin. I enjoyed that similarity and all that stuff revolved around that. I really liked. I'm very curious to know about the tie-in between this little sort of coin that David got at the end of this episode. And how that connects him and his father. I kind of am very curious to know about that because it wasn't really discussed, but kind of that this coin was David's father's coin. But how that all connects, I kind of can't wait to see. And I hope that they'll show it rather soon, like in the next episode, and not have this brought up and then not discussed until a few episodes later. I really don't care for that. But knowing Once Upon a Time, that's very likely that that will happen. I kind of understand what the Evil Queen's motives are, but I'm not also fully understand what they are, if that makes any sense, because I don't know if like the Evil Queen's going and trying to make like another Evil Queen out of Regina, or if she's just trying to go and straight up kill off Regina. I don't know which way that's sort of going right now, and either way is kind of confusing to me how that would all work out. And then Zelina's whole part in this episode was also a little confusing to me because I understood her motives for helping the Evil Queen. And the whole sort of ending sequence between them where Zelina and the Evil Queen are talking was really great, but I don't think that Zelina is going to stay friends with the Evil Queen for very long because the Evil Queen's such this dark force and Zelina's changing to be a much more lighter and friendlier force. That I don't think that they're going to stay friendly with each other for very long and that Zelina's just going to end up going to Regina for help. Like she kind of always does. And the whole ending sequence with Emma and her sort of therapy session with Jiminy was very interesting with who she thinks the person might be in the white cloak that eventually kills her. But with who she thinks it is, it makes sense for her reasons of why she thinks that. But I also don't think it's going to be who she thinks it is, if that makes any kind of sense. because it just doesn't make full sense in my mind, but it also is kind of plausible with both Emma's reasons and with all of what's going on in this season, or potentially is going to go on in this season. And I do have to say overall that this episode was a great and very enjoyable watch. And there were some parts that confused me, but I do have to say with how this episode ended and all that went on in this episode, I'm very curious and very excited to see what's going to happen in the next episode. So, yeah, that's my review of Once Upon a Time, Season 6, Episode 2, called Bitter Delights. So, yeah, bye!